What's good, YouTube? All right, so today we're talking about futures trading, specifically a company called Take Profit Trader. We won't discuss in depth. This is not like a review. This is more so a recap of most recent payouts that we requested and actually did receive, but also kind of just to follow up the last video. I told you that I'm a little over a year in trading stocks, and I was introduced to futures late last year. We decided to lock in. I was able to take a lot of my learning, my experience, and transition that to futures. And it actually transitioned very well. Of course, it moves very different. In futures, it can be very volatile. Stocks can be volatile, but futures, depending on the types of contracts, if you're going micros or minis, depending on what you're trading. I trade NASDAQ because since I trade QQQ in the stock world, it's the same thing essentially. So I'm just keeping things uniform. We won't go into depth on the different things that you can trade in this video. Just know that that's what I'm primarily focused on. And so today I kind of just wanted to discuss where we're at currently with Take Profit Trader. I was able to make the investment in a 50K account previously and essentially 10x my money. But right now we're in a new challenge, 3 days out of the 5. That's all you need with Take Profit is at least 5 trading days. Can't have more than 50% of the total target made in one day. But as you can see here, $3,470, we've already essentially passed. So the next 2 days, I'm only going to open probably a micro, get in, get out of the trade for 2 days straight. This upcoming week, Monday and Tuesday. I'm not interested in seeing the trade play out. Primarily my strategy for any of these prop firms, I'm trying to get in and get out as fast as possible. There are some other prop firms out there that allow you to pass in 1 day, 2 days. With Take Profit Trader, you have to have at least 5 trading days. So I'm very aggressive. I have a strategy that essentially I'm targeting high level liquidity zones. That could be your daily intraday highs, lows, previous day high, low, pre-market high, low. And so again, kind of just to recap, like I said, late last year, introduced to futures, and we were able to lock in, took multiple payouts in December, and that kind of just trickled into the new year. And so most recently, $1,688 and $432 on 2 different payouts in late April. So that's what we'll discuss today. I have a few clips here. As you can see here, everything shows succeeded. So that essentially just means these payouts were successful. So the recap kind of was just in real time, so to speak. Your profit target for a challenge, or at least for the 50K account, is 3,000. And so once you get to a sim funded account, which I passed that challenge within 5 days, this was the following day. So I actually took the account to 54,110. So very impressive. Only have one account. We're not doing any copy trading or anything like that. Like I said, this is a 50K account. Total withdrawal balance was 4,110. And so available to withdraw 2,110. So you have an 80-20 split with Take Profit. It varies across different prop firms. But because we actually made that excess of 2,110 over the 2,000 buffer, that is what we're able to withdraw. And we did that request for that 2,110 after the 80-20 split. That is going to yield 1,688, as you see here on the screen. And that to me is very solid. Like I said, one account of 50K. We're not even in like some of the bigger accounts, 75, 100, 150K. We essentially, that's impressive. You think about it, we got to our $2,000 buffer, and then we were able to get 2,110 over the buffer. 1688 made in a day. This was the following day. So I took that payout, or I made that request on a Thursday. I was waiting for the update on Friday. I didn't know if I was going to be able to trade. When it comes to prop firms and you do these requests, you have to actually wait for the balance to update and reflect on your dashboard. But Take Profit updated my account. I was able to get in for a quick $500 something scalp trade tail end of that Friday. And we were able to put that request in for 432. So that's the beauty of Take Profit Trader. Once you get to your sim funded phase, you could literally have a chance to take a payout every single day over your buffer amount at the 80-20 split. It then will segue into my next point. And I talked about my strategy. I'm a lot more aggressive. In the challenge phase, I've shown myself that I can pass these challenges. I don't really need the entire month. You are provided that if you buy a challenge, you get into a challenge, you have 30 days to pass it. Otherwise, you can choose to renew the account. You can, if you're blowing the account, you can then get a new account or whatever. But I'm getting in and out of these challenges. And at least I've shown myself I can do it. I've done it countless times. So that's just my strategy, my process. But you do have to have a game plan around it because, again, it is going to be an investment in the challenge. So you don't want to just go in there reckless. Have a strategy, have a game plan, but it is possible. So with Take Profit Trader, one of the main things I hear across the board that people have an issue with is the trailing drawdown. It is real. I've actually got screwed over by the trailing drawdown on a couple of occasions in past scenarios and didn't even really know what was going on. But then I had to remember, like, oh, wow, because you need to get to your buffer amount first. Once you reach your buffer amount, anything that you have over your buffer amount, or should I say, once you get to the buffer amount, the trailing drawdown stops. So you have to be cognizant, keep that in mind for anybody who's looking into Take Profit or you're not successful with Take Profit Trader. Keep that in mind. The name of the company is Take Profit. So that should be your goal with this. So whether or not you have a strategy, because a lot of people, I would say they're getting messed up or they have it messed up with Take Profit Trader because they set their take profit and it's either stop loss hit or break even, or they take a, again, a loss with that stop loss. Why? You have your loss that you realized. So let's just say it was $500 and then you were up $2,000 and didn't take that profit. So now your total, because it's realized and unrealized when you have trailing drawdown, is $2,500, which that's a blown account with something like this 50K account. So I think that that's people's issue that they encounter with Take Profit. They just can't accept that you have trailing drawdown. Now it is like that with a couple other firms, and I know some other firms have end of day drawdown. And I will say that's simply just awareness of the prop firm that you're deciding to use, whatever prop firm. If you lock in on your strategy, the rules, the regulations, the process, and just know if I'm deciding to trade in that prop firm space, because again, you have the ability to go into a live account where you don't have rules, but at the same token, this is something that you can leverage a smaller amount, a smaller investment, and potentially gain access to additional funds so that you can leverage potentially 2,000. Because, and again, we won't go into that much in depth. A lot of people think I'm in a 50K account. You're not. It's a $2,000 account, so you need to treat it as such. Or if I'm in, 100K, whatever your drawdown that you see for these prop firms, that's what your account is. It doesn't matter 50K, 150K, your drawdown total is what your account is. So if you view it like that, I have a $2,000 account, think about it. Like, you don't have the ability to be able to say, I went up $1,000, let it come back to break even, and then I lost $1,000. That's a blown account. I mean, unrealized, realized losses because of trailing drawdown. So again, awareness for the prop firm, rules, regulations, things like that. Lock in on a strategy. I just essentially wanted to have a quick recap of recent payouts, show you where I'm currently at in the journey. This will 100% be funded Wednesday of this upcoming week. Because like I said, we're already over our target Monday, Tuesday, in and out of a trade. I'm not in it to say like, oh, let me see my trade play out. That's not what we're looking to do. Now, I am recently, as of late last week, starting to get into Top Step. So it's been on my mind. They're a little bit different from Take Profit. They have 5 trading days mandatory, but again, you start at a 0 balance. Whereas with Take Profit Trader, once you get to your sim funded, you have to get to your buffer and then surpass your buffer for payouts. But with Take Profit Trader, that could literally, once you do that, you can take a payment every single day. You have to have 5 trading days with Top Step. And so I'm getting acclimated to their system. I love the fact that they have the Top Step X platform. That was one of the main reasons. It's very integrated. I use TradingView to chart more often than not. So it's just one-stop shop, so to speak. I'm not really fond of the 5 mandatory trading days. You only have to get 200 minimum, but I'm not really fond of that. But at the same token, I'm giving it a try because at the end of the day, it's just a different realm, a different space. I love the technology. They have a new dashboard I'll be able to take advantage of. So again, this video is just to talk about futures trading. If you're interested, you have limited capital, you want to mitigate the risk, because I've talked about stocks. It's very possible to flip or yield a return on a smaller amount within stocks, but there's so much more, in my opinion, risk associated with stocks, because you have the Greeks that can literally impact your trade if you're on the wrong side, or if it's taking too long, or you're going into expiration date, and you can lose money very quickly. And of course you can with futures, but again, you're leveraging a small amount to getting to a challenge phase, so you're not really risking your money. And again, you saw it on the screen. I've had these payouts late December. I haven't really dabbled into much of copy trading, which means you have multiple accounts, because do the math, that was on 2 different trades or requests that I had, 1,688 and 400 some dollars. That was spread across, because your max amount allocation wise for take profit trader is 5 accounts. If I would have had 5 accounts, that's those payments times 5 accounts. So again, that's the journey we're on right now. This new take profit, and even, this future top step journey that I'll be on, I want to grow into a different space. My strategy has really just been to make sure that I see a return of at least the investment amount, because imagine $119 spent on the take profit account, and I was able to take a $16.88 payout and also a $400 some payout. Crazy return on your money. But I do want to actually start scaling these accounts and seeing how long I can have the account. We can grow the account, take multiple payouts from just one account, instead of just making sure I get my return on the money and then not really caring. Moving forward, I'm going to really see how far I can push these accounts and how much we can really gain from them, scale them up, things like that. But again, quick video on this topic, more to come in regards to futures trading, on some of the challenges that I have underway, some future payout videos. But guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Level up your mind, level up your skill, level up your trading. More importantly, level up your life. This wraps up the video. Make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Sub if you're new. Make sure to hit the notification bell to stay updated for when the next video drops. Other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.